Cheers, everybody. Hang tight while everybody looks all right. Shake. Sweet. Good. We're rolling then. We are rolling. I'm going to casually have a few bites of food every so often here. Dinner came in late today. I made it late. My fault. All right. So, welcome to another live edition of Making You a Bartending Pro. I am Jason with my man Shake on the assist here. Tonight, it's another, I'm doing like a crazy kind of detox, sort of like trying to keep my stuff clean. So this is chicken and vegetable and quinoa, like curry, just kind of a stir fry thing. Delicious and simple and healthy. So here we go. Joseph, drinking Rob Roy. Cheers, buddy. What's your favorite way to make that, Joe? How do you do it? Are you a Rob Roy aficionado? What's your favorite scotch? How do you prep that? Is it just kind of standard? Or do you use any special preparation antics? Yeah. What else is new out there, everybody? Anybody get a job? Got any cool stories? We had a holiday. How was everybody's Memorial Day? Right? No, Labor Day holiday. Johnny Walker Black, orange twist rim, the orange on the glass, sweet vermouth. Nice. I like that. Clean, simple, delicious, I'm sure. Right. Rudy, what's up? How to be a bartender in 72 hours, best video, great tips. Right on, Rudy. Thank you. Yeah, there was a guy on last week who said he made $700 in a weekend, like last week, using that video. Just using the basic little kind of tricks that I talk about in that video about upselling or getting other gigs, you know, like the little tricks with the garnishes and stuff like that. So, I'm telling you, that stuff works like crazy. So, good to hear that, Rudy. Good to hear that, my man. That's why I do all these. I forgot to look if there was any pressing questions on the last video that I posted. So I'll take a peek over that over there. Remember the way this works? There's no sort of agenda, just open format Q&A. You have a question, you ask it, type it in, and I'll answer it. My man Shake, he's a moderator. He'll add links to videos and whatnot. So you guys just jump in, ask away, talk about bartending. We can talk about something else, whatever you want. Okay, so not a whole lot of stuff on there, so that's good. No good news is good, and no good news is good news. Nice. 4 days ago. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, back over to you guys. So, any other cool stuff happening in your worlds? Anybody get a job? Any wild stories? I didn't really have anything kind of surreal as that. Cassie White. Delicious chicken stir fry vegetable cereal. No, there you go. Veggies, quinoa, chicken. Superfood, curry. I worked. Did anybody work over the holiday? I had to work. Although I didn't actually work yesterday. Or Sunday, actually. Woohoo! We were beach staying it a little bit. So we went down and just hung out in the sort of sun. The sun wasn't really out, but it was still a nice day. But what's up, Jonathan? It was still a nice day. It's still good to be hanging out with friends or barbecuing on the beach and stuff. So hard to complain about that. Trying to think of any other news in my world. Nothing substantial to talk about as of yet. As you guys know, I might have a new job taking me back to Oregon soon. We are not going to have a live stream next week because they are flying me up there for a job interview. So I will not be doing this live stream next week, but I am tentatively trying to prep a video to release on this Tuesday for you guys. So keep an eye out for that. So anyway, Rudy says, is that video you shared about getting into the banquet halls, would you recommend it in sports events like tailgating? Video that you shared about getting into the banquet halls, would you recommend it in sports events like tailgating? I'm not sure I know exactly what you're talking about, Rudy. The one I talk about where you can work at banquet halls, and then you can definitely work at sports events, but I'm confused what you mean about tailgating. Unless this is like some random video that I liked or something that went out to you guys, I'm not quite sure. Maybe give me a little more detail about what you're curious about, Rudy, and I'll be sure to, I'd be happy to clarify for you. Jonathan Searle, AB, real question, is EBS Bar School worth it? Ah, the infamous bartending school. That, the same thing I always say, basically, where it's one of those things where you're basically going to pay for a simulated bar experience, and so that can give you a sense of confidence, of feeling like kind of a test drive. I don't know if test drive isn't the right word. Yeah, kind of, I guess, right? So you're kind of test driving the whole experience. So it's one of those things that if the money that you're paying is worth that, then yeah, go for it. But I definitely do not ever recommend you scratching together your last $300, $400, $500 or whatever it is to pay for a school because you think it's going to better prepare you and better allow you to get a job. While you may get a chance to learn a couple things that you might not have otherwise, most of that stuff you can find on here, right? Like that's the whole reason I started this channel, is because I worked at a school after I was a bartender and there was a lot of discrepancies on what they taught. So basically anything you could find in a school, number one, is on this channel for free. And number two, it is cool that you can kind of be across the bar. And granted, most schools, you're not pouring real alcohol. It's just colored water. So you can't even really taste what you're making. It's just the simulated experience of talking to someone and having them order drinks, which is good because I think a lot of the anxiety that people have when they're starting out as bartenders, they think it's because they don't know drinks or drink recipes, and they think they need to know more drink recipes, and then they're going to get stumped. But I think it's really that same anxiety that you would feel from public speaking, right? Because you're kind of in front of people that you don't know, and you kind of feel like you have to entertain them or something like that. And that's definitely not the situation where they don't come sit at our bar to be entertained by us. They're there to have a drink and have some food and chat with their buddies and watch the game or whatever. And if we happen to strike up a good conversation, which is an important skill set, then great. And that's important to do. And I talk about that in a bunch of these live streams and other videos and stuff. But it's be careful being duped into the salesy type of, it's a business. So bartending schools are a business. They're in the business of selling butts and seats, right? They're not, they didn't pop up out of some drastic need of under-trained people in the world to fill this massive void of bartenders. So it's a business, and some of them are better than others, and some people go to bartending schools and they have a great experience and they learn a lot. But a lot of times what you'll learn is that bartending is a people skill, and it's not necessarily about just rote memorization of recipes and random facts about alcohol and shit. So I think that it's good in that you get a sense of being in front of people and kind of practicing what it feels like. But if you're really hard for cash and it feels like it's really expensive, then definitely do not do it. Most bartenders do not go to schools. And at least here in America, it's not like a requirement of any sort, which gets confusing for people that live in like Wisconsin or Texas or something like that, where they have a requirement for responsible serving, you know, like how to check IDs and how to cut people off and all that kind of stuff. But they call those certifications bartending licenses. So it gets real convoluted and confusing, which I have other videos that kind of try to clarify that. But basically, it's something that if you can afford easily to get a sense of confidence from a fake run behind a bar, then go for it. And if not, then don't worry about it. You're better off spending your time going out and pounding the pavement and knocking on doors and getting to know the owners and managers and the people that can give you a job and potentially give you a shot. Because once they know you, then you're much more likely for them to give you a job than you are to just, you know, fork out your last $500 for a Hail Mary class that you think is going to save your life or whatever. So there you go. Long-winded question or answer to that question, but hopefully that clarifies that. Okay. Now I'll get back to, remember, if you guys are hanging out watching, if you ask a question, I will get to it. So just hang tight, because sometimes I go a little bit long-winded, as in that case. Picked up a few words. Okay, then let's shake. Let's see here. Jonathan also wanted to know, I currently work at O'Leary's Sports Bar. Sweet. So you're already in the biz, man. You're a good conversation with your owners away from letting them know that you want to be, because the best way that I always tell everybody when you're brand new, the best way to become a bartender is to get a job in an establishment you want to work at in another position, right? Assuming they won't just straight hire you as a bartender. So if you can go in and get another job, then you're in. And then it's simply, once you're working at a place, it's simply a matter of time before you can become a bartender. Assuming you just do a couple of basic things like be the squeaky wheel and let them know that you want to be a bartender, show good work ethic and value to the business by understanding how you can be valuable to them, then before you'll get a shot. So you already got your foot in the door somewhere. So that's how I started. I started, you know, under the guise of knowing that they hired me, that I would be a bartender at some point. I only had, you know, like one shift a month or two after I got started, but I was mostly like a busboy. So you start in other positions and then you move into the stuff. And you guys are way ahead of me. I had absolutely no idea how to pour or any drink recipes whatsoever the first time I walked behind a bar to work. So you guys are ahead of the game by watching any of this stuff that I put out on this channel. Okay, so let's see if we can clarify some questions for Rudy. We'll get back to you, buddy. Bartending. So Bara B says, a bartending school close by me offers a couple of days at an actual bar for learning. Do you think that would be worth it? That's a better situation for sure, because it's an actual real environment. But again, it's a cost analysis. Like, how much is it going to cost you versus how well can you afford it? If it's your last $300, $400, $500 and it may be sketchy for you to make rent if you do it, then definitely do not do that. If you can easily afford it, then sure, go in there and check it out. If it's in an actual bar, I'm sure they have it closed to the public, or maybe they don't. If it's one of those things where it's, because this is becoming a little more common, if it's one of those things, Bara, where you can actually go in to the bar and be a customer while these guys are learning, just go do that. Because you can almost, you almost get a free pass there where you can't get behind the bar and pour, but you can see the whole thing and figure out if it's going to be worth it for you to do that. So remember that, at least in the States, most places, most bar managers, me being a bar manager and being in this industry for 15 years and working at a couple places and talking to owners and managers and other bartenders, just because you went to a bartending school, you still do not have experience. So I know that the bartending schools try as hard as they can to sell the fact that it is like experience. In the real world, to us, it's not. So if it's something that you can afford to get the experience, then do it. Get the experience, not like literal job experience, but like experiencing the situation. And that's a question that I can't answer for you, unfortunately. That's one that you have to do yourself. But remember that it will not, you can put it on your resume and it's good you've done something and they like to see that you've taken initiative. It will still not be seen as actual bartending experience. So that's still always the catch. Donna B, I'm a quick learner and have been bar backing for a month. Can I count that as bartending experience? Yeah, sure. That's the other thing. Fudge the truth a little bit. You're trying to make a living here. I know a lot of people that straight up lie about experience on their resume to get their first job. You just have to be careful that you don't get yourself into a bar where you're going to be way over your head and they will immediately be found out and you will immediately be fired. So you can fudge the fact that you have bartending experience. Any of you guys, right? If you have a moral problem with it, then fine, don't do it. But if you need to make a living and pay your damn bills, then do what you got to do to survive, man. And you being a barback, you're basically bartending. The only thing you're not actually doing sometimes, and our barbacks actually pour drinks. You might actually be pouring drinks. And especially if you are pouring drinks, then yeah, fuck yeah, put that on your resume as bartending experience. You're bartending, right? So don't let the technicality of what your actual job title is in the position at the moment dissuade you from doing what you need to do to upgrade the quality of your life. So I hope that answers that for you, Donna. Rudy, yeah, I think I'll do more homework in my end. Thank you again. Okay, thank you, Shake, for clearing that up. Joseph, let me jump up here. Got a couple of questions that passed over here. Where are we at? Okay. Joseph says, what's your favorite old school drink? It's the Manhattan, buddy. Or Manhattan. We were just talking about old Manhattans. Old fashioned. My favorite old school drink is the old fashioned because I do like bourbons. This little Maker's Mark, one of my favorites. So I like to do a good old fashioned, but honestly, I don't really drink a whole lot of hard stuff anymore. Margarita's been around forever, so you can call that one an old school drink. I love margaritas because I do like me some tequila. I like me some tequila for sure. Cassie White, started bartending a few weeks ago. Your videos have been helping. Thank you. Did 5 doubles in a row. Holy smokes. So I'm out. Keeping the videos coming, man. You're welcome, Cassie. Keep up the hard work. If you keep doing shit like that, then you will be a valuable asset to your establishment and they will give you basically whatever you want, hopefully. And if they don't appreciate your hard work ethic, then start looking for other places ASAP. Ross Dorset. Hey Jason, longtime viewer, but first time to the stream. Just want to say thanks. Hey, you're welcome, Ross. Thank you for being a viewer, loyal, longtime viewer. I appreciate that. Got my first barback gig this Saturday. Yeah, buddy. Right on, Ross. Keep up the good work. Remember I got that other video about how to kick ass as a barback that I posted a week or 2 ago. Maybe just Shake and throw up a link if you didn't already. For you, Ross. Otherwise, it'll be in my recent posted videos. So go check that out. Yep. Sweet. Shake is on it. Donna B, you are welcome. Bara B says, Donna B and Bara B. Bara says, I worked at the Red Bulls Arena, and I only poured beer. Would that be considered as experience? Yes, hell yeah, of course. Even if you have a job where the only thing you do is take a can of beer and open it and give it to somebody, that's bartending. Even if it's soda, even if it's not even alcohol. If they order a drink from you and they give it to you, I would say, maybe that's fudging the truth a little bit, because you want to say that you've had experience with people that have been drinking alcoholic beverages. But yeah, pouring beer is bartending. It's a simple position in bartending, but it is bartending nonetheless. So absolutely put that on there as experience. It's a skill set. You got to know how to pour a beer without pouring a bunch of foam. So there you go. I'd say do it. Okay, sorry guys, another bite of dinner here. While I check your questions. Yeah, and I've done a video about one of the best, like kind of first gigs as a bartender. It's because Shake was mentioning this at tap houses and stuff. Like tap house bartending is great because it's so simple. You have to be a little bit familiar with their beers that they have, but that's about it. There's no, you don't have the stress of random cocktails coming at you or anything. And you're just pouring beer. And you can still do pretty well. I mean, busy tap houses, you still get that like $1 tip per drink that you're pouring average a lot of times. So if you work at a busy tap house, that's a great gig because you don't have to worry about anything other than just pouring beer, and you're making money. So pouring beer is yeah, that's bartending for sure. Paulo Crater, do you brew your own? I do not. I am not a home brewer. I have some friends that are way into that stuff, but I do not personally. It's a lot of work and effort, and I'm just not that into it, I guess. I've always done the bartending stuff for the social aspect and for the time flexibility and schedule flexibility. Those are the biggest things for me. Like I came to bartending, actually it kind of fell in my lap, right? For those of you that have been watching for a long time, you've probably heard the story a million times. But my friends were working at a place and the manager said, all your friends work here. When are you going to work here? And so it kind of fell in my lap. But that's an important point to know that when they know you, then they like you. Or when they know you and they like you, then you're much more likely to get an opportunity to work. So that's why I say, instead of trying to go learn 200 drinks at a bartending school, your time is better spent going out and spending times in the establishments that you potentially might want to work at so that they can get to know you. And don't spend time like being the local booze hound where you drink yourself into the ground 5 days a week, but go in there enough to be a local that they start to get to know who you are. Just go in there on a regular, consistent basis. And then every so often, pull the manager aside when it's mellow and slow and like, hey man, you guys need any bartenders or any other position? I would love to work here. So anyway, the point is, no, I don't brew my own. It kind of just fell in my lap, and I've always done it for the flexibility of the school schedule. Like I was starting at school at the same time that happened, and it was a great fit for me needing it was the closest thing that I could find to making a full-time living, working part-time at night so that I could go to school. And so that's kind of why I chased bartending. And then I was like off and on with school. Like I stopped for 5 years and 4 years and would stop and start. But in the meantime, it was a whole hell of a lot of fun working as a bartender during basically my 20s and 30s. So, but no, I don't brew my own beer or alcohol for that matter. But you don't brew alcohol, you distill it. I guess you could say you brew it, right? Almost the same kind of a process. Richard Elmore. Hey, Jason. So I got a job at a gay bar. Nice. Do you have any suggestions on turning down customers, hitting on the staff, but nicely so I can still get tips? You can just, you don't even have to clarify that you're gay or not gay, which, by the way, good on you for not being afraid to go work in a slightly unique environment. Unique environments like gay bars, strip clubs, and whatnot are some of the most profitable bartending positions you will ever have. Gay bars, as I'm sure you may know now, you can make a lot of money. I mean, I don't know, maybe it depends on where you're at, what area you're in. I know that like the gay bars in San Diego are some of the best bars to work at in this entire county. Just because they're always busy and the nature of the people, they're usually really good with their money, and so they're usually very kind and generous. And I know people that work there and they've just made a shitload of money. So good on you for not being afraid. And then in terms of like getting hit on, it's going to happen all the time. It happens, whatever kind of bar you work in, gay or straight or whatever, you're going to get hit on. And the easiest thing to do is to just like, sorry, I'm taken. You don't have to say, sorry, I don't like penis or whatever, you know, if it's a guy, or you're a girl and it's a girl, like I don't like, you know, whatever. You can just say, sorry, I'm taken. And that way they'll know that like, you know, you don't even have to say like, I'm not into dudes, or I'm not, you know, you can just say, sorry, I'm taken, period, the end. And then that way they're like, oh, damn. And if they say like, well, what's his name, you know, and they keep pushing you for it, then you can say like, you know, come close and like, her name is Shelly or whatever, and then give them a wink. It's cool, you know. A lot of straight people work at gay bars, so it's not a big deal. Okay, guys. Sorry, one more dinner bite. All right. Welcome, Barbie. Hey, what do we got here? Ross door set. Caught a bar back vid as it came out. Nice, good. Kind of served as my inspiration, actually. I'll be sure to rewatch again soon. Yeah, there you go, Ross. That's all you need to know in there. That will, you know, do that stuff, and you'll be well on your way. Cheers, everyone. I know sometimes it's rotating on people that are coming in and out of the live stream, so those of you that are just showing up, cheers. Those of you that have been on, cheers. Condensation is dripping on me. Okay. Donna B wants to know, what are some of the biggest things to avoid while working as a bartender? Oh man, how much time do we got to answer that one? Let's see. Besides the obvious of being a derelict and non-punctual employee, right? So don't no show. Don't do any like don't show up. Don't miss any shifts or call out last minute on shit. So be a good employee first and foremost. Be on time. Be punctual. Be a good team player. Help other people out beyond just your job duties. So if you're kind of cleaning shit because you're slow or you're holding up the wall or whatever, and you can see somebody else is busy or spills something or, you know, needs help in general, then go help them. Be a team player. But other than that, I think the biggest thing, what are some of the biggest things to avoid while working as a bartender? Don't get wasted. Try not to drink on the job excessively. Try not to drink at all if you can, but definitely don't drink in excess, which happens all the time in this industry. If you're a bartender, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you see it. It's one of those crazy things that just is rampant and out of control. The substance abuse and drug abuse in this industry is off the charts. Both sides of the bar, both the customers and the employees. So avoid all of that. is kind of the biggest thing I would say. Avoid fishing off the company pier, as they say can be a good idea too. So try to, I know I have that old video that I did that I talk about, or older, it's not too old, but where I talk about dating customers and coworkers. Well, that can be one of the more fun aspects of your position and the social opportunities that come along. If you can avoid dating your coworkers, it makes it a lot better if things go bad. Now, if you date a customer and things go bad, it's not the end of the world because you don't have to see them on a consistent, regular basis. But if you date someone, and it happens all the time, I've dated lots of coworkers. I think I always thought about it for when I shot that video way back when. Basically, I wasn't in a lot of relationships, but kind of was dating, and like every social connection that I had made had either come directly from working or was one degree of separation from either coworkers or customers in my bar. So it's a tremendous opportunity for drastically increasing your social opportunities in the world. But if you do date your coworkers and it goes bad, then it's real bad. And a lot of places will just have a flat out policy: do not date each other. Don't fish off the company pier is what they say. Because if it goes bad, then it's just super fucking awkward, and people can get in full-on screaming matches, like fights, couple fights at work. That's bad. It's bad for business. It's bad for the morale of everyone. So I'd say that's a big one. I don't know. Those are kind of the main ones that come to me off the top of my head. I mean, there's a bunch of shit I could say. Make sure that you're doing your job and cleaning, and make sure you're studying your craft and increasing your game. I mean, but those are the big ones. Just don't make your life unnecessarily difficult if you don't have to. Okay. Let's see here, a bunch of questions popping up. I will get to all of your questions, you guys. Hang tight there. Man, these things go fast when you guys ask good questions. Thank you for that. Let's see. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody here. Yeah, there's good shakes throwing out the social media stuff. Make sure you follow us on all the main platforms at Bartending Pro. Bell for notifications if you subscribe. Let's see, Jonathan Searle. I want to possibly work at higher end bars like in London or Europe. What's the easiest way without attending a school? See, now that's a good question. I'm gonna screenshot that, Jonathan, because I actually don't know myself, and so that's something that I should look into, and it would be a good video for you guys that I could do, because there are an increasing number of foreign viewers on this channel, and I know basically all the stuff, a lot of it is applicable to anywhere, but a lot of the foundation and fundamental stuff that I talk about is from a standpoint of an American bartender. So I do know, or I don't know, but I think that you have to attend a school to work in Europe, and specifically the UK. I think it's required. I'm not sure. I don't know 100%. You may know better than I do. But it's one of those things that I think you have to go to their school, so I don't know. You'll have to look into that, and I will look into that as well. So, let's see, Barabi, can you react to more bartender videos? You reacted to if bartenders were honest, and it was hilarious. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying, Barabi. Yeah, actually, I have... Man, that's funny you should say that. I have there's a couple of, they're not even bartending channels. They're like, BuzzFeed type videos. And there's a couple of them that did a few little series of bartenders, and those are almost to the top of my to shoot list, so I can maybe bump those up, because there's a few of them that are pretty good, like what's annoying, like annoying trends, and you know, how to get a bartender's attention and how to get better tips, and you know, so yeah, thank you for that insight, Barbie. I have those already in the pipe to be produced soon, so thank you for that feedback, because that will help bump them up in higher priority for you guys. Maybe I'll shoot those this week if I can. Right. Shake says, Jonathan, did I ask you, bro? Don't worry about it, Jonathan. Shake's my man. He helps me help you guys out. So I think you have to have schooling for higher end bars like C space bar. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Rudy Sabalza. I live in Miami, where bartenders and barbacks make good money at nightclubs. Yes, they do. My question, what advice do you have to try to land a job in nightclubs? So Rudy, it's kind of the same thing, where the best route is other jobs, or you need to get some solid experience. Like, you're talking at least, to most of the time that I've seen at nightclubs, they want to see 5+ years of high volume experience. So that means you need to do some experience that will either be in a high volume place, or is experienced enough that you can get a job in a high volume place, and then you need to get some experience in the high volume place before you can get a job at a nightclub. That's why nightclub bartending gigs are so coveted, because it is a ladder that you climb to get to that position. You can't just walk off the street and get a job there. Now, the best way, just like any job and any career, it's all who you know. So the best thing you can do is try to find out the owners, or it's not even the owners. Nightclub owners are like mega rich guys and stuff. So it's like the managers. Who are the people that run the nightclub? Who are the people that would give you the job? Try to find out who they are. Try to befriend them. Nightclubs are a unique environment, because you can't, like, usually you can't go in there on a slow time and talk to the manager and get to know them and, you know, hang out at the bar. I mean, maybe you can, but usually, I mean, like, nightclubs are just, they open the gates and it's fucking goes Richter, you know, right off the bat. So it's you got to do the time of getting experience, and then you need to always be working on trying to get a note, because even if you do get a bunch of high volume experience, it's still really hard to get into nightclubs. You need to be a young, hot, beautiful person, which I don't know if you are or not. I'm not saying, but it's the illegal sexist part of this industry is exacerbated in the nightclub world. So the more beautiful you are, the less they will, the more they will let you kind of come in with less experience, if that makes any sense. So if you make sure that you, when you're going and talking to these people, that you look good. Like, you know, don't put on like a suit and tie or anything, but look like you're going out. You know, look sharp, look like you're going on a date. And you want to put your best foot forward. Hold on, I don't want to hear Fugazi right now. I'm going to change the song. There we go. It's from my old punk rock skateboard days. So anyway, yeah, nightclubs, like I work at a nightclub style place, and the way that I got in is that I got in when they opened, or just after they opened. So I found out this place was opening, and I know this is kind of unique and might not be an option for you, but I found out like where the place was going up, and I went in, I talked to them during training. They had already done the hiring for the people, and this is good for nightclubs or anything, but anytime a place opens, a lot of times there will be a culling, C-U-L-L-I-N-G, where there are people that don't make the cut, and they will kind of turn over a certain percentage of their staff after opening. And so I was looking for that opportunity, so I went in and was making relationships, creating relationships with the owners and the managers of that nightclub while it was still being built and finished. Like I brought in one time after their opening, like I found out, because I knew some of the employees, and I found out like when they're inside opening, like basically employee party, like kickoff party. It wasn't open to the public, it was just for the employees. And I found out when that was, and went in the following day with like a bottle of champagne, like, hey, congratulations, blah blah blah. And so that made a big impression. So you got to try to get to know the people that can give you the job, and that's really hard to do in a nightclub. So the next best thing is to try to get to know the people that work there, so that they can plug you into the people that can give you the job, or can give you a reference or recommendation. So nightclubs are a tough one. I would say try to do your best to start building experience towards high volume places. Try to go into a place in that may be high volume, but if you can get a job in another position, then take it, and then try to work up into a bartender, and then stand on that experience so that you can get into a nightclub. It's a really tough, tight world. It's like Hollywood in the sense that it's designed to keep people out. So it's really difficult to get into it for a reason. But the good thing is that a lot of times they do like fresh young faces. So it's not an environment where you see people doing it for 20, 30 years. Like there's a reason that you don't see really senior bartenders, like senior in age. You don't see older bartenders working in nightclubs. And the owners understand that their staff are a draw, or they are a part of the draw for the whole environment. So you can't have this like young, hot, happening nightclub and then some old grandpa bartender. That's just not going to fly. So there's kind of a finite amount of time that you have a window to be a bartender in a nightclub for sure. Like I've kind of past my time, and I wouldn't go into that environment anyway. I've already been there, done that, but still, you kind of got to be young and hot and all that kind of shit. So anyway, that's the ladder you need to start climbing, Rudy. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Kimberly says, Kimberly Gonzalez, think it's possible to get a job as at least a barback to move up to a bartender later, even if you're under 21. Thinking of trying to get a head start to get some experience before trying to get in college. Remember, if you guys ask a question, hang tight. I will get to it. I know I've been going long-winded on some of these answers, but for you, Kimberly, it depends on the establishment. A lot of times you have to be 21 to be a barback. Just because you're, like in our establishment, because our barbacks will pour drinks on occasion and handle booze. Some places it might be 18, so you just kind of have to go in and talk to them and find out. But yeah, 100% worth it. The barback is the closest position to a bartender that you can have besides being a bartender. So yeah, absolutely. If you went and did barbacking for a couple of years, by the time you turn 21, you'll basically have it dialed, and I'm sure they would be, the place that you would be working at would be willing to give you a shot as a bartender once you turn 21. So there you go. Adam Simpson, get paid to learn mixology behind a bar as opposed to paying to learn mixology to eventually work at a bar. Best school of bartending is a bar. 100%, Adam, 100%. But it's hard to get that job first. But that's what I did. Like, my learning was completely, getting thrown into the deep end at a pretty busy place when I had zero knowledge or experience, and it was very much a trial by fire. But that's not always an option for everybody. So, but Adam's right. I mean, obviously the best way to do it is just to learn on the job. So if you can do that, then definitely do that. Miriam Aquaviva, did I say that right? What would be some of your best tips for first-time bartenders with minimal experience? Just go in and smile, have fun, be friendly, work on your people skills of just being able to talk to anybody and have a conversation with people. That's going to be about it. I kind of talked about that earlier in this. I almost had that same question earlier. So after this post, I would maybe go back and rewatch this video because I answered that in a lot of detail. So I don't want to go through that all again, just for time sense, because we're already on almost last call for questions, everybody. So Miriam, after this post, which right after this is done, it should be a few minutes and it'll be live on the channel. Go back and rewatch this because that was one of the first questions I answered earlier. Penny Boone, good to see you too, my dear. Graduated bartending school. How do I find a job? Yes, right? Isn't that what they're supposed to tell you? Yeah, isn't that what they were selling, is helping you find a job? That's a bartending schools. I'm not, it's not on you. It's on them. They should be doing that. That's the main thing they should be doing in a bartending school. Not teaching you drinks, but how to get a damn job. But they don't, and that's why I started this channel, my dear. Penny, the best thing you can do to find a job is to network with the people that can give you a job. Get to know the managers and owners of as many places as you can, and be willing to take a position that is not bartending. Start in other positions and then move up. That is the best thing you can do. Oh, Adam, my man. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. My brother name is Adam. Yes, dude. I've been bartending in Portland, Oregon for over 10 years, and there is still so much to learn from other practitioners of this old craft. Yes, buddy. I may be back in Bend soon. I'm from Bend, so might be back in your neighborhood soon-ish. I have some friends up there that are flying me up there next week for a job interview. Actually in a different industry, but I may be an Oregonian soon. So cheers, Adam. Thank you very much for that very generous tip. I do appreciate that, and stoked that you're kicking ass up there, man. How's the Portland scene, by the way? I know when I lived up there fucking 15, 20 years ago, it was a lot of fun. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to Rudy. Oh, just cashing out to go get some sleep. Rudy, thanks for tuning in. Penny, good to see you. She says, should I try to get a job at a new establishment or at a bar tavern that's been around for years? Whoever will give you a job first, Penny. It doesn't matter. So when you're brand new and you don't have a lot of experience, you don't have the luxury of being too choosy of the type of place that you want to work at or who you want to work for. I always say take the first job that comes along, stand on it, start getting some experience, but you can always keep looking for other places. Like if it's not your dream bar, fine. You don't have to stay there forever. But now you're working, take that experience and continue to look for other positions. Now, obviously, you don't want to tell the place that you're going into, like, yeah, this place kind of sucks and I'll just work here until I get another gig. Don't tell them that. But it's you know, it happens all the time. It's called life. That's where the old term, this isn't personal, it's just business. And people understand, and there's so much turnover in the service industry that it doesn't even matter. So take the first job that comes along and then apply to all of them, right? So go watch the videos that I have about how to become a bartender. I think it's called how to become a bartender with no experience, or how to become a bartender, how to get a bartending job playlist. There's a little mini series called How to Become a Bartender with No Experience in that playlist, and it talks about how to find a list of establishments, how to go out and drop resumes, how to follow up, how to interview, and how to close the deal. Go watch those. Maybe Shake can link those if he's still hanging, and take the first job that comes along, stand on that experience, and then look for the other places that you really want to work at better. There you go. Shake, go watch that stuff, Penny. That link that Shake just put up. Thanks, Shake. Then Penny says, how do you feel about trying to tend bar in a military establishment? Would that be a good job? Again, like I said, any establishment at first, if you have no experience, would be a good bar to work at. So you just need to get started, and then you can build from there. And you might think the type of place that you want to work at is X, and then you start working there and you realize it's actually Y. So your idea of the type of place that you want to work might change in your career. Like, I always thought that I wanted to do the whole nightclub thing, like most of you guys do. And then I got in there and I immediately realized that I don't want to do this because of my lifestyle. I don't want to be up until 3, 4 in the morning, coming home and going to bed at 5 in the morning. Like, I can't fucking do that because of my lifestyle that I live is not compatible. And I had opportunities at other places that the money was basically close enough, at just as good basically, but I didn't have to be up until 2, 3, 4 in the morning seeing first light. When you're leaving your job, it turns you into a vampire. So I thought I wanted to be in the nightclub business, and then I did it and I realized that I didn't. And then I thought I wanted to be in fine dining, and I went into it and I realized that I didn't. Because fine dining, again, is another one of those longevity plays. So if you really want to do this as a career, like forever, which when we're young, we're like, yeah, I'll do this forever. But, you know, they say on average we'll have 10 to 20 different careers in your life. So you'll change your mind. But anyway, you know, fine dining was another one. I went into it because my brother was working at a fine dining place, and he was fucking killing it. He was killing it. He was a waiter, but he was making so much money. And he got me a job, and I went in, and I just hated it. It wasn't my style to have to be so over the top, pandering to your customers, that it just drove me crazy. And sure, it's like I could have made more money over there, but it was not authentic to who I am, and I just wasn't able to get over how terrible some of the people would treat you. And that's not always the case with all fine dining places, but as the income level of your clientele climbs, so will the level of personal difficulties that can come up. You know, they'll be more fussy. That's just the way that it is, and that's what I've seen. You know, might just be completely anecdotal, but that has been my experience, and many of my friends in the fine dining world experience as well, in many establishments, not just one. So my point is that who knows what type of stuff you'll like. So take the first job that comes along, stand on it, get some experience, and there you go, Penny. Bar B, last question for me. Have you seen any funny or weird Tinder dates at your bar? Oh my God, are you kidding me? We see them all the time. In fact, we love to try to guess which ones are social dates, you know, like Tinder, or I'm married, I don't even know what the main ones are. Tinder and what the fuck? What are the other ones? Bumble, Tinder, you know, whatever. And we try to, me and one of this other guy that I work with, we kind of have fun saying awkward shit during their dates, just to kind of break the ice. Like, you can see it's just really, the tension it's just like uncomfortable, and so we'll try to go in and we'll kind of have a contest to see who can say the most awkward shit to these people. But you gotta be careful, right? We've been doing this for a long time, so we know not to cross lines, and how not to piss people off, and how not to say rude or wildly inappropriate shit. But it's still a lot of fun, and yes, you see it all the time. But again, it depends on the type of bar that you work at. You might not work at a place where people go on dates, which that would kind of suck, because it's a lot of fun. A broad experience of customers and people watching is definitely a fun part of the job. All right, you guys, last call for questions. We're gonna wrap it up here soon. So if you're here watching and you want to ask a question, get it in now, because I'm doing last call for questions. Remember to follow me on all the social media stuff at Bartending Pro, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, I already said that. YouTube, obviously. Make sure if you subscribe to the channel that you turn on the little bell notification thing wherever, however this is showing on your screen, so that you get notified when new videos or I start doing these live streams. But last call for questions. Oh man, you guys threw out a bunch of them here. I got to start answering these quicker. Again, Adam, thank you very much for the tip, my man. That is very, very generous. I appreciate that. Grayson Ducker, is bartending a job that is too time consuming for a part-time job? In other words, could you have a part-time job as a bartender while in school, or is it next to impossible without going full-time? No, that's what a lot of people that are in the service industry, not just bartenders, but servers and cocktail waitresses, or you know, busboys and hostesses. A lot of them are in school. It's very much, usually, not always, but a large portion, or definitely a portion, if not a large portion, of your front of the house staff will be young people, and many of them will be in school. And it's because it's one of the only jobs that you can do part-time, and there's not a full-time requirement for you to hold the position, and you can do it at night, right? So you can take your classes during the day, and then you can work at night. And obviously, if you're going to school, like if you're going to college, hopefully a lot of times the schools do a pretty good job of grouping the classes so that you can do all your stuff on like Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday. Or if you have to do them, you know, 4 or 5 days a week, you can at least do them in the mornings or during the day, so that you can keep the nights open so that you can go work. So yeah, 100%. That was the main reason initially why I came to this industry, was for the flexibility to be able to go to school. So absolutely, Grayson. Welcome, Penny. Ross, just want to add my opinion to the part about future videos. I really dig the interview videos with other bartenders. Awesome insight from them. Yes, Ross, and that is another one that a couple of my buddies have been dodging me for a few weeks, just because our schedules are like that. So I got more of those coming too, man. Thanks, Ross. Penny, you're welcome. Good. Get out there and kick some ass, girl. Let's see. Adam says homeless people have taken over Portland. Stay out of the downtown area. However, come to Oregon for the breweries and vineyards, and the distilling industry is growing in the Beaver State. Rad. Good to know, Adam. Awesome, buddy. Sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward. I don't know. It's a very long, complicated story, but I would look forward to coming home if I can work it out in my life without too much difficulty. So Penny says, I'm not into the nightclub thing. 56, started a new life. Thanks for advice. Love your chat. Yeah, right on, girl. Right on. Okay, cool. We're getting to the bottom of these here. Almost done. Aesthetic Delta sounds raunchy. Yeah, that's this industry. Raunchy as hell. Welcome, Grayson. Adam says, what's the most complicated, time-consuming drink you make on a regular basis? Mine are Spanish coffees. Yeah, right? Are you guys like espresso style, where you gotta brew it all? That would be a pain in the ass. Just crafty stuff. I think we have like a weird... Our bar is pretty good. Like, our bar is like half a step away from a dive bar, so we don't have a lot of crazy, crafty, super complicated shit, which is nice. And I've placed myself in that style of bar intentionally, because it's like a drinking bar, so there's tons of volume, but it's not like really complicated, crafty stuff. So I can slam drinks out really fast when we're busy if I need to. So I don't know, I'd say just the stuff that we come up with on our own menus that have a bunch of crazy ingredients that aren't, it's not even that crazy, that just have multiple ingredients. I'm trying to think. Most of the time it's like running around, because it's a long story, but because our bar is sometimes short of things, so most of my time consuming shit is like if somebody orders something weird and I have to like run upstairs to the wine bar to get it because I don't have it, because it's not that common, and then coming down and making sure I have all the stuff. It's more of like getting all the pieces of the puzzle together and then making it more than it's like really once I have all this stuff that it's that difficult. But that's just because it's unique to my bar. Penny, you're welcome. I hope that you're happy to get your advice. Thank you. I can only hope that you know your advice is so important to me and many. Yes, of course, Penny. Stoked that it's helping you out. That's why I do this. I know it's not the largest bartending channel on this platform because I don't do slow motion drink videos shot with a $50,000 red camera, but I like to think that we're dispensing legitimate career building advice. So I'm glad to hear that you get value out of it because, you know, I mean, it's legitimate stuff. Slow, comfortable fizz, Penny says. Okay. Knows as we dance at tables making flaming drinks. We're not allowed to do flaming drinks in my bar. I tried, but boss said no. The chocolate frog. Spitting fire to light the flaming Dr. Pepper. Now that'd be fun. Best drink ever. Want my recipe? Yes. Throw it out there, Penny. All right. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Thank you guys for coming out, hanging out. Thank you for all the good questions, you guys. Remember, we do these every Tuesday, 8 p.m. That's West Coast United States time. Pacific Standard Time, they call it. So check your local time to that. And next week, I will not be here. So no live stream next week because I will be up in Oregon for a job interview. And I will fill you all in on how that goes the following week. But keep your eyes peeled. I'll have a couple of new videos coming out this week. And I'll probably do a Thursday. And I don't know. We'll see. So there'll be some videos coming out this week. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you guys for supporting. I'm Jason. This has been Making You a Bartending Pro. Thank you, Shake, for helping me moderate, always with answering questions when possible, and links for all you guys. So have a good week, everybody. Get out there, kick some ass, and I will see you in 2 weeks. So that would be the 18th. We'll be back the 18th for the next edition of Live Making You a Bartending Pro. All right, you guys, have a good night. Thank y'all. Love y'all. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.